National spokesperson for the RNC, Paris Dennard, joins me now to weigh in. Paris, is this just normal palace intrigue, or is there something fundamentally wrong with how this White House seems to operate?
Thank you for having me. I think the American people are just surprised at how bad the Biden-Harris White House is at every aspect of governing, when it comes to policy or when it comes to actually PR or actually when it looks at how the Biden White House deals with the president who has these series of gaffes. And remember, the president's own sister in a recent interview said that these aren't gaffes. She said when he speaks, they're actually truths. And so if we take her word for it, when he makes these so-called gaffes, they should be taken as fact, as truth. The problem is the White House knows that the things that he says are wrong, shows incompetence, and in many instances could put the American people in danger, especially when he says that Russia can have a minor incursion with Ukraine. These are problematic statements that the White House has to fix because the president is just bad at his job. He's totally incompetent.
The White House pushing back on that NBC News report, quote, as we've said before, no clarifications of the president's remarks are ever issued without his direct approval. Your reaction to that, Paris?
That's just more Biden-Harris White House spin to try to make the American people feel as if they are in charge and know what's going on. The American people see right through it. The rhetoric doesn't match the reality. When they said that inflation was transitory, when they said the gas prices are as a result of Putin's invasion of Ukraine, the American people sit back and say that's not true. We've been feeling this burden of this economy for months on end, well before Putin came into this issue with Russia. The American people see through it, and they're tired of the lies, and they're also tired of the inaction.
Meantime, Joe Biden is seeing an exodus of black staffers and a lot of frustration among some of those who remain. Here's the Politico headline. At least 21 black staffers have left the White House since late last year or are planning to leave soon. Your thoughts on this, Paris?
You know, I think it just goes to show that this administration is disappointing the black community. Not only black American voters who have seen a dramatic decline in support for the Biden-Harris White House, but also from their own staffers. These staffers are leaving in droves because they don't feel supported. They don't feel empowered. They don't feel like they have a voice. They're not being promoted. How can they go home to their communities, talk to their families, and tell them that this White House listens and understands them when they don't even feel listened to or understood, let alone not having policies to back it up because they have nothing to show for what they promised to do to uplift and empower the black community like the Trump White House did.
To what you just said, this lack of support that these black staffers feel from the White House. Is this just another example? They're hiring by the Biden White House. Just another example of identity politics that this administration tries to foist upon all of us?
It's a great example of, the rhetoric not matching reality. They want you to believe that they're diverse, and they want you to believe that it's a welcoming and inclusive place to work. But there's so many reports that show the contrary. They show that the American people that, you know what, working for Kamala Harris, many staffers have said it's an environment that is hostile. And this report shows that the Biden White House is not the place to be. It's a sinking ship, and people are leaving. And so the idea that they are this diverse place that is welcoming for black people, it just seems not to be true. Not because of what reporters say, but what their own staffers are saying. Identity politics like this backfires because it is empty, it is hollow in terms of what they're actually doing. They say they're diverse, but they're not treating their black staffers well. They say they have policies to help black people, but they're not doing it or delivering on any of them.
Combining both of these topics that we had Gian to discuss, if there's one major takeaway, it's that the messaging from this White House is not working. Do you think that is the reason that Joe Biden is issuing all these op-eds? One, he wants to control the messaging, but two, he wants to do it in a way where he can't make a gaffe because he always has the power of that edit button when something's written down in text.
Yeah, I'm surprised that President Biden has so much time to write these op-eds. It's almost like one each day. But I'll tell you, the rhetoric doesn't match the reality, and they're trying to change things from a PR perspective. But again, the American people know this is not a PR issue. The problems and the crises that we see are not going to be solved with an op-ed or a statement or having K-pop stars come to the White House. They have a policy issue. The policies aren't working, and the American American people are going to hold them accountable come November, because they understand that it's not no amount of PR, no amount of op-eds, and no amount of videos from TikTok celebrities are going to change the fact that Americans are suffering directly because of the crises created by the Biden-Harris White House.
So to sum up, Parrish, you're saying that BTS is not going to be able to lower gas prices. That is a dynamite take. You see what I did there? Paris Dennard, thank you very much for your time today, sir, and allowing me to make that ridiculous pun. Have a great day, sir.